Very good evening to one and all. Today this video is for class 9 seed structure and germination. So we are entering a new chapter and the chapter is known as seed structure and germination. So what is seed? Seed is a mature ovule. Seed is a mature ovule. When after pollination when the fertilization will take place, the ovule will turn into seed, the ovary will turn into fruit, the plumule will turn into shoot, and the radicle will turn into root. So this is the thumb rule of germination. Please don't forget it. This is the thumb rule of germination. Why it is known as thumb rule? Because once the process of pollination and fertilization gets over, we need to know what are the post-fertilization things. What are the products forms after fertilization. So after fertilization, the ovule will turn into seed, the ovary will turn into fruit, the plumule will turn into shoot, and the radicle will turn into root. So this is what happens after the events of fertilization. Today in this chapter we'll be learning the structure of seed. How far the seed is, when the seed is dissected, then how far we can study about the seed. And we will also know about what is the importance of different parts present in the seed. This chapter is an introduction to the structure of seed and germination. So without wasting any time, let us move to the main part of the chapter. So here I have made a structure of seed. And the structure of seed, I have tried my level best to make you understand what is present in the structure of seed. And here also a very small structure of seed I have made so as to make you explain two things what is present in the seed. That is present in the seed. Two things that is present in the seed. So this whole diagram is based upon the parts of the seed, and this one particular diagram will only show two things present in the seed. Since it's a dissected part, that's the reason why this part I have not accommodated over here. This part I have made in a different position I have made, in a different place I have made, because it can't be accommodated, because it's a dissected part and this one is the whole seed. So let us go deeply into the thing what we are going to understand today. So first of all, seed. In the seed, we can see whenever we will cut the seed, whenever we will dissect the seed, the outer layer of the seed is known as the testa. Testa is the outer covering of the seed. The outer covering of the seed is known as testa. It is very much tough, so that the seed could not be damaged by any adverse condition. Any negative condition should not damage the seed, like weather conditions or some grazing animals like cows, goats, buffaloes and all. They should not damage the seed. Next one is the tegmen. This is the inner layer, the black layer which I have marked. This one is the tegmen. Tegmen is the inner membranous layer. The inner membranous layer protects the seed. It protects the seed because inside the seed a small developing embryo is there. Now what is the small developing embryo? This small developing embryo is actually the plant present inside the seed that will germinate to form a plant. Now what is the meaning of the word germination? Germination actually means that when the seed will start to germinate, when it will produce a seedling will produce a plant, and plant will produce a tree. First the seed will germinate to form a seedling will become a plant, and plant will turn into a tree. Now, so this testa protects the inner young plant which has not yet become a plant, but it will grow to a plant or a tree. This tegmen is also protecting the same developing embryo, that is the plant inside the seed which has not yet grown. So testa and tegmen performs the same function, but testa is very much tough as compared to that of the tegmen. Tegmen is a membranous layer and testa is the hard layer. Outer layer is the harder one, and tegmen is just the inner membranous layer. So I hope you can understand this too. But both of them serves the same function to protect the developing embryo inside the seed, which will develop into a plant. So I guess you can understand this. Now, next one is the cotyledon. The cotyledon is actually a food reservoir. A cotyledon is actually a food reservoir of the plant which holds the food, which stores the food. So the cotyledon will store the food. Cotyledon stores the food, as well as this stored food in the cotyledon will develop the embryo so that the embryo could become a plant. Next is the layer endosperm, this green layer which I have marked. Testa is the red, tegmen is the black, and endosperm is the green layer. So this green layer, inner layer, is the endosperm. This endosperm is rich in food. Cotyledon is also rich in food and endosperm is also rich in food. This cotyledon and endosperm both will provide a huge amount of food to this developing embryo so that the plant could grow. The seedling could grow as a plant, so that the developing embryo could develop as a seedling. Seedling will develop into a plant and plant will develop into a tree. That is what is happening. Now, so cotyledon and endosperm both reserves the food for the developing embryo. Both are the reservoir, or both reserves the food for the developing embryo, so that the developing embryo could eat the food, and after eating the food it can grow well. Now, next is the radicle. As I have told you earlier in this class, that radicle means the undeveloped root, the root which will develop to become the root which is undeveloped. The root which is undeveloped means after development it will become root. That part of the seed which will become a root after its development, that is the radicle. So the radicle is over here. This one is the radicle. So until and unless the seed is not developing into a plant, the radicle will not develop into a root. So radicle is that part of the seed which will develop into a root. Next is the hypocotyle. So hypocotyle is this region. The region between the cotyledon and the radicle. The region between the cotyledon and the radicle is the hypocotyle. The region between the cotyledon and the radicle is termed as the hypocotyle. Next is the cotyledon stalk. Cotyledon stalk is that stalk which holds the cotyledon. Both the side cotyledons are there. Both the side, this vacant area is the cotyledon. So this cotyledon stalk will provide enough food to the cotyledons. So that the cotyledon should not have any lack of food. That is what. Now, epicotyle. Epicotyle is the part which is between the plumule and the cotyledon. Between plumule and the cotyledon is the part epicotyle. Why hypocotyle and epicotyle is needed to know for us? Because in the later class we will learn epigeel and hypogeel germination. That's the reason why the knowledge of epicotyle and hypocotyle is needed to us. Now, plumule. This plumule will develop into a shoot. This is what the basic thing behind the structure of the seed. These are the few basic things. First we need to learn this thing, then only we can enter the technical part of the chapter. And if we are not knowing these things properly, then we cannot understand the base and concept of the chapter. So this is how I define this whole part. Now, this part is the micropyle. I have made a whole seed without dissecting it. It's a micropyle. It is not a dissection diagram, it's a whole seed. So this micropyle is a small pore present in the seed which allows the diffusion of gases. Means gases and water can easily go inside the seed and can come out, so that the seed could germinate. And this is the hilum. Hilum is a scar mark which shows that the seed was once attached to the ovary wall. Once before the seed becomes a seed, it was attached to the ovary wall. Means before the pollination and fertilization took place, the ovule was attached to the ovary. Or we can also say the seed was attached to the wall of the ovary before the pollination and fertilization. So these are the few definitions and the parts of the entire seed. That we need to know very nicely. And whenever we are talking about embryo present inside the seed, actually that embryo is the growing plant present inside the seed. That growing plant allows the seed to protect it. That growing plant allows the seed to germinate, and that seed will protect the growing plant. Now once that seed is damaged or hampered, that growing plant inside only will be killed and it cannot germinate. So that's the reason why. And one more term I would like to discuss today, that is dormancy. Dormancy is a term which shows the inactivity of the seed. Means when the weather conditions are not at all favorable, adverse weather condition, too much heat or too much cold, that time the seed will not germinate. Only some small processing, some small metabolic processing will be going on inside the seed. Some small metabolic processing will be going on inside the seed, and the seed will not germinate at that time. The seed will just pass the time because the condition outside is not favorable. Once the favorable condition sets in, the seed will germinate and the seed will break the dormancy period. Means dormancy period is the period so as to avoid the adverse weather conditions, which is achieved by the seed. Means the adverse weather condition, when the seed is achieving, the seed will not germinate. It will rather continue a dormancy stage where the seed will not do anything. Only some small metabolic reactions will be going on inside the seeds. So I hope you can understand this. Now, one more thing. Based on the presence of cotyledon, seeds are divided into two parts: monocot seeds and dicot seeds. Monocot means having only one cotyledon. Dicot seeds having two cotyledons. Based upon the presence of endosperm, the seed is again divided into two parts: endospermic and non-endospermic seeds. Seeds having endosperm is endospermic seed. Seed do not have endosperm is known as non-endospermic seed. Now, the seed which is not having endosperm, in those seeds only the cotyledon is storing the food, and the seed which do possess the endosperm, in those seeds the cotyledon as well as the endosperm both will store the food. The cotyledon as well as the endosperm. But in the seed which is not having any endosperm, only the cotyledon will store the food. But there is no seed without cotyledon. Each and every seed will either have one or two cotyledons. But there may be seed without endosperm. But cotyledon is a compulsory item. It must be there. Cotyledon is a compulsory item. It must be there. Without cotyledon, the seed cannot grow. But without endosperm, the seed can grow. So cotyledon is compulsory and endosperm is secondary. There may be no endosperm or there may be endosperm present, but cotyledon must be there, either one or two. If one, then monocot. If two, then dicot. So I hope you can understand through this video. Please go through it, and if any doubt, you are welcome to ask. Thanks a lot.